At ito po ang efforts mula sa Estados Unidos ay mayroon pong sulat na inihanda. Panawagan sa pagkakaisa with U.S. President Donald Trump.
Yes!
Efforts mula sa grupong na po Kato Panginawan na ang kanyang puso ay nasa Amerika pa. Kato Panginawan, bumalik sa Pilipinas at nagsulat sa mga
Ako ay maharap sa inyo dahil sa mga kaibigan ko po sa Amerika. Kami po ay nagtatayo na ng mga katulad nito from coast to coast. Ito po mga nasa Washington DC ay nagpadala na po ng sulat kay Donald Trump sa White House. President Donald Trump want to be President of the United States. Washington, D.C. We hope this letter reaches you in good health and spirit. We write with a deep sense of responsibility. Above all, we write to you because you have always been consistent in standing by your friends. Speaking plainly when others hesitate and defending the sovereignty of nations. One of your longtime friends, former Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, now faces a situation that should never have been allowed to occur. In a move executed quietly and without constitutional authority, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. handed PRRD over to the International Criminal Court, a tribunal that the Philippines is no longer part of, and one that has no lawful jurisdiction over him. No court in the Philippines ordered his surrender. No Senate concurrence was secured. No constitutional process was followed. It was done unilaterally, secretly, and in defiance of the nation's sovereignty. For many Filipinos and for those of us who have spent our lives defending the rule of law, this act is nothing less than an unconstitutional transfer of a Filipino citizen to a foreign power. Your voice, Mr. President, carries a weight that few others possess. You have always advocated fair treatment among nations and have consistently questioned the overreach of bodies such as the ICC. You know better than most how politics can be disguised as international justice. This is precisely such a moment. What makes the situation even more alarming is the state of the Philippine presidency itself. Over the past year, the nation has witnessed a disturbing decline in President Marcos Jr.'s capacity to lead. Allegations of cocaine addiction, once whispered quietly, are now openly acknowledged at the highest levels of his own family. In fact, the entire country heard Senator Amy Marcos, his own sister, speak from a place of anguish and exhaustion. Little brother, please rest. Let us go home. A sister's plea carries no political agenda. It comes from truth. When the head of a state's mental clarity and executive judgment are compromised of this scale, the nation enters dangerous waters. Intelligence circles in the regions have long observed erratic decision-making, lack of focus, and impaired diplomatic engagement. These are not minor concerns for the Commander-in-Chief oversees national defense, foreign policy, and the safety of millions. Compounding the crisis is the sprawling flood control scandal, which has exposed a level of corruption unprecedented in recent memory. Billions of public funds were channeled into dubious projects and inflated projects. Contracts were awarded for political networks tied directly to Marcos Jr. and Speaker Martin Romualdez. The scandal has triggered concern from international partners, rating agencies, and foreign investors. In the Indo-Pacific, one of the most fragile contested regions in the world, such instability sends shockwaves beyond Manila. It weakens the economy, compromises disaster readiness, and jeopardizes the country's ability to fulfill its defense commitments. For the United States, which relies on a strong and dependable Philippine government for the listening forces agreement and the enhanced defense cooperation agreement, a compromised presidency creates real strategic vulnerability. Mr. President, the Philippines is America's oldest treaty ally in Asia. The Pacific now more than ever requires stability, clear leadership, and predictable governance. When the leader of a key ally is involved in corruption, impaired by addiction, and unable to command public trust, the security of the entire region suffers. A weakened Philippine president affects EDCA sites, which are strategically positioned for regional deterrence. U.S. military prepositioning, vital for disaster response and force mobility. Economic investments dependent on anti-corruption guarantees. Marine security and aggressive expansionism by hostile actors. If instability in America continues, adversaries in the regions will not hesitate to exploit. Given the scale of the crisis and the gravity of the president's personal capacity, the only truly responsible and constitutional solution is straightforward. President Marcos Jr. must resign. Not through pressure from the streets, not through extrajudicial arrangement, but through the very mechanism provided in the 1987 Philippine Constitution, a peaceful and lawful transfer of power to the Vice President. This ensures continuity, stability, and legitimacy. The Philippines cannot drift leaderless. While billions are lost, corruption spreads unchecked, and national security is placed in jeopardy. Nobody can afford a president whose judgment is compromised by addiction and whose inner circle is mired in financial scandal. Your voice, Mr. President, can help make the difference. A call for you urging respect for constitutional processes and honest leadership will resonate not only in the region but among the millions of Filipino Americans who look to you as a decisive and principled leader. Medyo mahaba pa ho, pero tatapusin na natin doon. Nakihintay na lang po kami ng signal from the White House Chief of Staff, Susan Wiles, and the rest will be history. Maraming salamat po.